Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 11th episode of the Orcocast, where we wage walk on some video games and also on the streaming world, because the streaming world has been very, very wild this week.
Absolutely.
I think we have three big topics actually. We have the foreclosure of the amazing streaming platform that is Mixer on Monday. We have the ban of Dr. Disrespect from Twitch, which was on Thursday. And then we have the Me Too movement in streaming, which is happening as we speak. We will touch probably on two of those topics. Let's start with the obvious one. How about you feel Mixer is burning down to the ground, Lord Val?
that, that's a good way to put it. I got mixed feelings because I did enjoy my time on Mixer. I did enjoy the people I met on Mixer, and we became so close and so we were small. I mean, that was obvious. There was so many, there's few people that I wouldn't know, and the majority I would jump into people's streams and I would say hi to 3, 4 different people. That would be, the normal thing. I would jump into someone's chat and I would know 4 or 5 people out of that chat. In that regard, it felt good. It felt like, we were a small family where we knew each other. We all knew everything about each other, and I even knew even like some people's schedule. Like I would know when they would go live, like exactly at what time. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen anymore. I really enjoyed the platform, but now it's time to move on. And even though we're joking and we got the sticker of the whole Twitch and the Twixer and blah blah blah, I am very thankful for to Mixer and Microsoft for giving me the opportunity when got the partnership. And so they had a brilliant platform. For some reason, for one reason or another, what probably we're gonna discuss it now. They had to shut it down, and they thought it wasn't viable anymore. That happens everywhere in the world on every single company. I've actually experienced that on my, in my personal life as well. Couple of no, last year actually, last year where I was working, it's kind of like those decisions come really quick, and they give you next to no time. The fact that we actually got a month after the platform was shutting down notice, that's long. Like people don't know that. People might not know that. That is long. The notice on the place that I used to be working, I got a week's notice. It was shutting down. So you kind of like companies work that way when the board makes a decision of shutting down something that is not being profitable for the company. They take the decision quick, take a week or two. They probably negotiating before, months before. But when they let you know, it's literally a week before it's shutting down, and that's their obligation. They have no obligation on letting you know before that. Other than that, like I said, I really enjoyed my time. I did enjoy my time. I am thankful for the opportunity that I was given, and it's time to move on. It's time to go into Twitch, onto the with the big boys. You can move to Twitch. You can move to D Live. Facebook is making it easier to make the transition if you're coming from Mixer. You can go to YouTube Gaming, which we are actually spoke about a couple of episodes ago. Orc on myself, and D Live, and the new platform, which is a Trovo. Yeah, it's
Provo.
Trovo. Yeah, that new platform is looking interesting. If you ask me why wouldn't you go there, because I'm not going there because it's another small platform, in my opinion. They got an influx of money. Is that going to be successful? We never know.
I mean, I wrote Trovo an email yesterday, and obviously haven't gotten any straight answers from them. So I
Okay.
asked them what they plan in the future to grow the platform, and I got no answer whatsoever.
Yeah, that's kind of sad as well.
And
Um,
It's why I stay away from it, like as far as possible. They cannot they cannot show me how they want to grow. Okay, I'm out. I go
I
to
mean,
Twitch.
it is, it is a tough decision. Wherever you go, it's gonna be, you can see the bright side of all of this might be the fact that everyone is moving. It's not like you're losing your actual community. You're not losing on your most of your friends because most of them are going to go to Mixer. But like I said, whether we like it or not, we're gonna be losing a lot of them because people are going to start doing their own thing, and they're gonna have to they're going to do other things, and they're gonna have to move on with their lives and move on with the new community, or getting new people and getting to know other streamers, and um, we'll all end up, probably most of us will end up on different communities and splitting up from each other. It is what it is. That's why I'm gonna miss a lot, and I'm struggling myself to be moving onto Twitch. I'm honestly struggling myself to be moving onto Twitch, and I'm having a hard time just thinking about it. But there's nothing we can do about it. We just got one door closes, another door opens. Don't know how you guys feel about the whole thing.
So my personal take is this. I honestly don't think the platform is makes the community, it's the people on it. So since the almost I see various polls, and from 79 to 89% from what I've seen, everyone moved to Twitch.
Yeah,
And some of them moved to Facebook. I mean, the obvious one is King Gothalion, who
yeah,
moved to Facebook. I think it's important just to keep that in mind, that platform loyalty brings you nowhere. And I think it is easier now, as you said, to move the community over, since they are not as emotionally attached to a platform that is basically not existent anymore.
now that we're
Um,
talking about King of Thalion, that's another
and
subject I want to bring up. I used to admire the guy. I thought King of Thalion was an absolute brilliant streamer. He has shown me issues one more, issues in it for the money. I think he's lost it. I think he's actually lost it. He's made enough money not to stream anymore if he wanted to. He doesn't need to stream anymore because he made, what was it, 10 million of Microsoft for 6 months of streaming. So, I mean,
I mean, this is the same with what Ninja and Shroud as well. They don't like have to stream anymore very much because they got
yeah.
like 30 million apiece. So
My point, Bam Bam, is there is at this point he's making the wrong moves one after the
yeah,
other. In my opinion, he's got a friend on he's another big streamer. He's got a really good friend on Facebook, which is probably the one who told him to move on to Facebook.
Mhm.
Is Facebook going to be successful because he's going there? No. Why? Because he moved to Mixer. We all thought Mixer was going to be successful because they got Ninja, they got Shroud, and they got King Gothalion. Probably the three biggest streamers on Twitch, on three of the most influential streamers. Mixer sank. I'm not following King Gothalion anymore. I have decided that he probably is not looking after community. He is looking after money. So he has lost kind of my respect in that sense. I mean, I admire the guy. He's an awesome, Destiny streamer. Obviously, me as a Destiny fan, I love King of Thalion because he used to be, number one on everything, and all the new stuff, the new raids and all of that. They used to be really fun. Him and Professor Broman, all those guys. But he's looking after money, like you can tell by now. You can really tell because he moved to Mixer. I would say, you could say, he's moving to Mixer because it's an opportunity, not just the money. I wanted to think it was an opportunity, not the money. That he wasn't looking for money. He was looking for a new community. He was looking to grow Destiny into Mixer. But that's not the case. because he's gone to Facebook gaming for a bunch of money again. So at this point, I'm like, don't get me wrong. Everyone, obviously, you doing this for money. Like, yeah, fair enough. Stop switching platforms. Stop going, like, honestly, like, at this point, you lost it. The best comparison that actually came to my mind yesterday when we were talking about it. The thing is, when King of Allion is moving from one place to the other, it reminds me to one of those. I would say like one of those NBA players. Have you guys watched much of the NBA?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay, so those NBA players they start switching team, and one year they switch to another team, another year they switch to another. You know, they're really good in one team, but they make the wrong decision to move to a different team, and that, from that point on, they go downhill because they start changing teams year after year, and they don't perform as they used to. That happens often on the NBA. So it's kind of, it just reminds me to exactly the same situation. He was really good on Twitch. He made the decision to go into Mixer, thinking that was going to be better, and now he's switching on to Facebook. So it's like he's kind of lost it now. He wasn't, he was doing well on Mixer, but he didn't have the biggest numbers on Mixer anymore. He had good numbers the first couple of months. After that, he died out. But he didn't die out, obviously, because he had, over 1,400 people watching. But I saw a lot of people with way more than him. Like Gagot was doing a lot better than him. Jared FPS was sometimes doing better than him. I'll probably be watching him as well and everything. I'll keep watching him, but it's not. How can I say it? It's not someone that I look up to anymore. You know what I mean? Because of the wrong decisions. He's making the wrong decisions, one after the other, because he's after this. He's after the money, not because he's not after community or gaming anymore. He's after, building his obviously amazing room that he's got right now. His absolutely amazing garden, his swimming pool and everything. That's what he wants now. So, I mean, I want it too, but I wouldn't change. I don't know. I would make, I thought the best decision was to come back to Twitch, come back home. It's going to come back stronger than ever. We all know what happened with Dr. Disrespect when he came back after 3 months to Twitch. He exploded. I don't know. He got offered a bunch of money again, and he was like, yo, I'm after money. All I want is money. So I'm going to Facebook gaming, where everyone is going to share their real names. So no, thank you.
I made a Facebook account actually and wanted to test the waters. Just my experience with Facebook so far. The first account got banned for illicit activities. I didn't even do anything. Then I made a second account which still exists. And then...
How long was that ago? Is that...
It's like a week ago, not a week ago.
Okay.
I made the Facebook account on Monday after it got announced that Mixer shuts down. And it got banned like 3 hours later. Then I talked to the support and they say, nope, nothing we can do. And I was like, oh yeah, alright, okay, I get it. Just made another one. And yeah, then I got... It works now. I can't link my Instagram account to it because Instagram is linked to the banned account. My Instagram account has also been, let's say, compromised. I cannot write ads anymore on it if I would want to. They took away my ability to run promotions. It's amazing. And yeah, I was there when King Gathalion streamed the first time on Wednesday. Seemed to go pretty well for him. Sat at like 4 or 5k the entire time.
He was doing that on Mixer at the start. Like, I'm not saying he's an awesome guy, but is he going to be able to keep it up? Because on Mixer he wasn't doing it anymore.
I doubt it, but I come to that because, like I said, I looked at Facebook very, very closely. I also watched Tonsi a lot. They started streaming there as well.
And he went to Facebook?
No, they switch between Twitch and Facebook. The first time they were streaming on Facebook,
Okay.
it was like between 25 and 50 viewers. First Twitch stream, it was 200 viewers. So,
Obvious choice.
yeah. The move is very, very obvious where they will go.
Yeah.
And to come to my point about Facebook, I looked at the community. I looked who is streaming, what are the top games, what's going on there. Top games are mobile games, so stuff no one else plays other than people in Asian countries.
Mm-hmm.
And those are also some of the most watched streamers. This is an entirely different community. I don't think their numbers are that overblown. I just think they come from another continent.
You could be right.
India, Thailand, those are, or Arabic nations, those are like the ones who stream there.
Oh no, it's just you're talking about Facebook, right?
Yeah, I'm talking just about Facebook right now. Because it's an...
People usually ask me like, what do you think? What's your opinion on Facebook gaming? There's a lot of people that have been asking me that. I always said the same thing. I don't trust Facebook gaming. And they would say, why would you, why don't you trust Facebook gaming? And I was like, for starters, there is not an application where I can go and say, oh, this is Facebook gaming.
Yeah.
I gotta go through my own Facebook, which is not right. I got an account and from a long time ago because I tested the waters on Facebook gaming, and I'm telling you that I can't like the problem on Facebook is I end up, if I have my own page or anything, somehow I end up responding to people, to the post and stuff like that with my own personal name, because you have to manually go and open your page before you see the post, before you reply to people. So if you go straight away and just try to reply to someone, you would reply with your own personal name. Honestly, I don't know where to start on Facebook. I really don't know. Just the fact that there is no. I want an application that says Facebook Gaming. There you go, Facebook Gaming. I open Facebook Gaming and I know what I'm doing. I know I'm going to Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, I get
want
that.
to go to my Facebook. I don't have to open my Facebook to be watching people.
I mean,
I want to go into Facebook Gaming and say that this is the application. This is what you look. This is the the I don't know, the up and coming. This is King Codalion's family after money, and this is 5 people. I don't know. Like I want to have a full on application about gaming. Says these are the people you should be watching. These are our recommendations. These are the up and coming, and this is the the spotlight. These 3 people are on the spotlight. So that's not there. I don't have an application that says this is what it is, and we're showing you everything. There is the discoverability and blah 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 and all of that. Like I don't think might be good in the future. Hopefully it is, because otherwise Twitch is going to be the only one, and Twitch is going to do whatever they want from this point on. Because before they used to have a little bit of competition with Mixer, but now they will be the supreme leaders of streaming. They can start saying, okay, you will not get any more bets. We keep everything. So, they start cutting on things. I mean, don't give complete power to one company, because that's not good for us, for the consumer. If you give complete power to one company, you are done. Like, they're going to take advantage of you one way or the other. They will find a way, because you're not going to go anywhere. They're like, it's not going to go. There is nowhere else he's going to be, as comfortable as he is now here. And yeah, I don't like the fact that they are the supreme leaders right now. There is no one, absolutely no one that can compete with Twitch right now. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm capitalizing on the.
No, it's fine. What I wanted to say about Facebook is another point that I would want to bring up is that the interface, if you just want to stream, is super clunky. Like, super confusing, super clunky, and you never know where to go just to set up your stuff. This is another point. I mean, obviously the privacy concerns,
Mhm.
but like if you have privacy concerns, you also don't just go to Trovo, because Trovo is run by Tencent, and I trust them as much as I do trust Facebook with my data. On the other hand, why I went to Facebook and wanted to give it a try is I'm basically a blank sheet there. I've never had a Facebook account before in my entire life.
Mhm.
Oh, and that's also another interesting thing. Remember when they said they would get you into the level up program, as they call it, when you
Yeah.
took part in the open monetization as
Yeah.
Mixer streamer? Yeah, no, they won't, because you have to have a Facebook account that's at least 30 days or older before they do that.
Oh boy.
I mean,
Yeah,
it kind of like yeah. I mean, that will probably written on the like the tiny little
yeah,
letter at the
exactly.
bottom, where it would say, you got 30 days until we shut down the whole service, the whole platform. Go and sign up now. Otherwise, you're not gonna have the monetization thing. Uh, eh, it's a company.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
At the
mean,
end of the day, they are, them and Facebook, like they going for money. They don't want. They're not doing it for the community. They're not doing it for gaming. They're not doing it for anything else. They after money. So you gotta read the small letter always. You gotta if something like this happens, you gotta be reading absolutely everything about the announcement. The whole information they can give you, because they send to the all the streamers and everything. Like an email and like a public where they were showing actually. This is what's gonna happen. This is everything. This is this is the change, and this is what you have to do, and blah blah. What no one read is what it was at the all the way at the end. They're saying you gotta have a 30 days account
right,
for that to happen. So
right, but my point is like, they said they would make this transition easy for people. And
no, they
from my
don't.
experience, personal experience, no, they don't.
No, no.
So it's basically easier to transition to Twitch, and Twitch didn't even offer anything. So
Yeah, but on Twitch you also starting from zero. Like, don't get me wrong, it is.
I'd rather start from zero than to go all the hoops that Facebook throws at me. Because what's more valuable? Getting to know Facebook days after days after days, or go to Twitch and start streaming right out of the gate because it's a familiar environment and start building my community again.
You can see both points. I can see both points as well. You say you're jumping hope onto hope onto hope. Twitch does the same thing. You want to be monetized, you have to jump several hopes as well. So
But Twitch is
kind
crystal
of
clear on what they want.
yeah,
Facebook is
but
not.
yeah.
That's my
I mean
point.
that's up to that's your decision, and I will not judge that, because you will make your own decisions and you decide where you want to go as a person, as a brand. You are the only one that's going to decide where you go. I'm just saying one platform or the other, they have their pros and their cons, because you can say as they're putting a lot of hurdles on you, and but then if you go to Twitch, you can be never monetized, because you can there is such a massive community of streamers that you can end up with one average viewers and never be monetized in your life. uh you know it's got you can see, well, I can see both sides. What I mean? Not everyone is going to be monetized. Not everyone is going to be able to have a plus 3 average viewers. And then, as I was just speaking about to Bamban before the podcast, what about, yeah, you get 3.1 average viewers, you apply, you are a affiliate. What if no one comes into your stream anymore? And you get maybe 5 subs and 50 bits at the end of the week. Like, is it really worth it? Getting an affiliate on such a big place where, you know what I mean? Like, it's so difficult to keep, to keep growing because it's difficult. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen everyone from the big guys from Mixer. I'm doing horrible numbers, but I call it, because I've been doing a bit of research and watching everyone and everything. I call it the rule of the 10%. Every single streamer on Mixer that has moved to Twitch this week is doing at 10% of the views. I've seen Invicta going from 1K to 100. Jared FPS, Invicta, I've been watching quite a few. They got 10% of their own numbers. Like, that is not easy. Like, you gotta be. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the big picture and looking at both sides. Maybe Facebook it's quote unquote easier to kind of like make some money, like kind of monetize your channel. But yet again, it's your own decision, and you are the only one who decides what's the best choice for your brand and yourself.
And then again, like I said, my point was more being that Facebook is not very clear to what they want from you or expect from you to monetize your content. Twitch, as hard as it might be to achieve it, is crystal clear what they expect of you.
Yeah.
That was actually my general point.
I completely understand that. Yeah, I'm just saying, that it's Facebook is Facebook. That's what I'm saying. We come back to the same, to the same thing as I said before. It's just Facebook. It's a platform for where you see your mama. Hi, mama. How are you? Your mama likes all your pictures. That's Facebook. Your mom is going to, click like on every single picture of you. I don't know. I want a different, like, if Facebook comes up with a different application, full-blown application, Facebook Gaming, their logo is absolutely brilliant. I love the logo of Facebook Gaming. I'm in love with that logo since I saw it the first time. They got their own logo, their own application, their own thing, their own website, completely different from Facebook. You log in with your Facebook Gaming account, and there's a full-blown website with it. I was like, ooh, okay. Now they're serious. Now they are serious. Now they want to do something with this. You know what I mean? Like, they want to get, like, all right, so now they are paying attention to streamers. They're not just putting you, like, let's just throw in there with their mamas and their uncles and their aunties and their grandparents, and they all can watch them. No. Its own platform with its own people. People that want to watch you, they have to go specifically to that website and that application. Now, on that point, I would say, oh, okay. Now they're serious. Now they're thinking about, we want to do something with this. Right now, Mark Zuckerberg and their team is just saying, oh, there's a lot of people playing video games. Let's just put them on our platform. Let's call it stars. They give you stars, and you just put whatever. In that regard, that's why I'm saying they don't have the clear platform. That's exactly why I understand your point. They don't have anything. They don't show you, this is what we want, this is our platform, this is where you're going to get discovered, and these are the big guys, so you can watch them and blah blah.
And at this rate, like I said, I looked at every platform. Twitch at the moment, it can always change, is the only viable option if you're serious about streaming, apart from YouTube, if you already have a community there.
My opinion on YouTube is the same as before. I just think, I don't know what's YouTube waiting for, man.
Yeah, I know. That's why I say at the moment. If YouTube flips this so-called switch,
I really don't know what they're waiting for, man. This was the it's 2020 already. Even Facebook have a streaming. Like, I would do something on the headquarters on YouTube. Say, guys, like, this is the moment. we will pull everyone. Just do an structure. They have YouTube gaming as well, isn't it? But again, it's the same thing. YouTube gaming is inside YouTube. They don't have their own full blown, they even have their own, is it YouTube Music or something like that? It's like a different application.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have YouTube gaming. Come on, man. Just do a YouTube, you got the resources, you got the people. Everyone wants to be on YouTube. Like you do a, its own application, its own website, YouTube gaming, boom. They have already music. It's not that they haven't done it before. Facebook hasn't done anything but Facebook. But YouTube is already doing something else. They already created an entire platform just for music. Man, I don't know what they're waiting for, man. I really don't. Like, if I was there, I would be saying, like, this, like, now. This gotta happen right now. Because we'll be pulling everyone here. Do your own website, do your path to partner on YouTube gaming.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
set.
And you make a cool logo with YTG. Boom. There you go. Full on platform. YouTube gaming, if you're looking for someone, please contact me. My email is down below. I got all the ideas. I got everything already.
Yeah. No, I agree. YouTube, if they could get their stuff together, we could be in for a very wild ride. And Twitch finally would get some real competition and a run for their money. Because
that would be good for us. That would be good for us.
Yeah, I know that it would be good for us. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Twitch needs competition. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so far, yes, Facebook isn't competition for them. Not even in the slightest.
Nope.
And YouTube only has this big chunk of the streaming market because very established people already stream there.
Mm-hmm.
People who have gigantic YouTube channels like PewDiePie. Mm-hmm. He streams on a regular basis.
So is that PewDiePie still streaming?
PewDiePie streams on YouTube, yes. He left DLive.
Streaming?
He's streaming sometimes, once a week or something.
Okay, I've never seen him streaming.
Yeah.
He from DLive.
No, he does. He did it before on YouTube.
Yeah.
Before he switched to DLive, and now he's back on YouTube and does it again.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. And his streams are like, I think he can't even read the chat.
I don't know. That guy had its moment, and he is a complete different. It's on a different world, anyway. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing. What I'm taking from what you're saying is DLive. In my opinion, is not viable anymore as a streaming platform to bring a big guy. I don't think it's viable anymore. People stick to their platforms and they don't switch. They might switch for a week or two, but they end up coming back to their own platform. Not their own platform, but I mean, someone might feel comfortable just doing Twitch, and that's it. And they're not going to move, whether you like it or not.
I mean, if I had like 4,000 followers on a platform, I wouldn't either. So,
would you have moved if Mixer offered you that a year ago? What they offered to Ninja or King of Stallion?
To me,
yes,
I would have moved. Not even thought about it. Imagine that kind of money, dude.
Yeah, because now you know about the whole thing, but without knowing what happened.
I would have moved. Obviously, I would have even moved with knowing, because, dude,
it's 10 million. Yeah, I would have sold myself out. That's what. I'm sorry, King of Stallion and all of that, bashing on him. I'm not bashing on King of Stallion. I love the guy, but I just think that he keeps making the wrong move one after the other. He's an awesome guy, but it's just because I don't think Facebook gaming is going nowhere, man. I would have taken it, like, absolutely. They tell me 10 million. They said, 10 million per year. You stay 3 years with us, And it's Microsoft, because you have never thought Microsoft would taking a platform out, because you say it's Microsoft. It's the one of the biggest. It's the biggest platform. It's like I'm covered. Like, these people are going to have my back anyway. Now we've seen what happened and blah blah. That's a different story. But at that point, you would think Twitch or Microsoft. Who's got more money? You know what I mean? Who's going to back me up? These guys, Microsoft. These guys have the big bucks. So I would have done the same. I would say, people, I'm not gonna say how much I'm getting paid. 10 million. But I'm moving to Mixer.
So here is my hot take on all of this. Said it yesterday, I say it again. After what happened to Mixer, and after the fact that Microsoft is a multi-billion-dollar company that didn't give a shit about Mixer, here's what you have to do if you're a content creator. Don't lay all your eggs in one basket. This is an old message. I like to talk about old stuff. But here you go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most important message I can give everyone who inspires to be a content creator and wants to be one. Put out YouTube videos. Create content for social media so people know you exist. And the platform you're on is actually just secondary.
I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah. But you're at the mercy of these big companies, and if one just decides to say, oh, let's pull the plug because like those numbers weren't that good, and we thought you would at least grow by 5% after you spent all this money on all these high-profile streamers, because I imagine this is exactly what happened. It's in my mind at least.
Yeah. I think that's the exact reason why they pulled the plug in the end, because they had spent 30 million.
Yeah.
You know how much? Because I used to be manage on that place that I used to work. You know how much your board expects in return, because you gotta, obviously that doesn't, that you don't say, hey, let's go and sign Ninja, and they go and say, yo, go, there you go, that's your money, go and sign him. That is a lot of lawyers, a lot of presentations, I believe. When are they going to make the money back? Because they need to show the return of the ROI is the return of investment. You have to be showing that always first. So I was like 100%, I believe, when they did the whole thing about Mixer, presenting everything, the whole plan to the guys on Microsoft, saying the return of investment is gonna be back in 1 year. 1 year, we're gonna have all the money back and we're making profit. I don't think that's happened, because coming back from $30 million, oof.
I think somebody higher up at Mixer thought it was just enough to just sign a high-profile streamer, or more high-profile streamer, than call it a day. Like, oh my god, we are doing it like Epic Store.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think the problem. Sorry,
yeah.
I think the problem is that you sign one streamer, and no matter how big they are, they're not gonna save your platform if it's way behind. You need a good catalog of content to grow and have people engage with it. And that was the issue. Like when they shown the numbers, of growth, it was obvious that Mixer was gonna go down, in flames, screaming, when you're like multiples of like high percentage behind everyone else. Even with two big names, you just brought over.
I think the issue there more is that people weren't even aware that Mixer existed outside of the realm of Xbox. To
because
be really cynical about it, because a lot of people, I think the money they spent on Ninja would have been better spent advertising the platform, actually.
yeah,
I think they made a mistake as well on talking about the same that subject. I think they had lost an opportunity, or what happened there. There's something that happened there we don't know about. There was no advertisement on the Xbox presentations for the last 2 years of Mixer. Mixer was nowhere to be seen on the presentations. If I was in charge of Mixer, I will be all over everyone's. I'm not gonna say the word, but I'm going to be all over everyone's, like saying, you gotta put my platform, you gotta put my platform, you gotta say my name, you gotta put my logo, you gotta show me. You are gonna show me. You're gonna show my dashboard. You are gonna show me on every single presentation. So I'm gonna make sure everyone all over the world, because this is the most the gaming convention, or the gaming because it's been no convention this year, but the show the most watched in the entire planet. Like everyone that likes gaming, you are going to end up watching E3. If you like gaming, you're going to end up watching E3. Everyone is going to talk about you. All the IGN, GameSpot, everyone's going to talk about you. So when Microsoft or when Sony present their consoles, or they do the yearly presentations, they get blown. They blown up for a few days, all over social media, all over YouTube, and not a single time I saw a Mixer, because whether we like it or not, Xbox Series X is from Microsoft. Mixer is from Microsoft. It's like it's obvious. They go hand to hand. If I was in charge of Mixer, I would be knocking on everyone's door. Literally everyone. Like Phil Spencer would literally kick me out of his office, because I would be every day there, making sure he was going to present my platform as well. Literally every day. Phil, 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 Phil. He would go crazy with me. Like honestly, I don't know what was going on there. Even though I do, like, you can do the investment and all of that, which I think for someone, because I can see where it's coming from as a business perspective, because the people that create Mixer, the people that are behind Mixer, the manager or whatever they have passion for the platform. They love the platform and they want the platform to be successful. I would imagine why they would do a presentation onto Microsoft saying, listen, we want to bring these guys. We want to bring these big games. These big guys are coming with their big games, with the big communities, and they're going to port a lot of people over to Mixer. So let's give Twitch a little bit of competition, the investment, blah blah. I understand to what point in their minds that's what they have to do. I get it, because as a business perspective and as love for your platform, you want your platform to be successful. You gotta think of new ideas. That's what I was told all the time. You gotta be always ahead of the game. You gotta be thinking 6 months down the road. You gotta be 6 months ahead of what's going on. On Christmas, I will be preparing summer. On summer, I will be preparing Christmas already. So you always have to be thinking ahead. So yeah, would you put your heads together and someone comes up with, let's bring Ninja? Man, that's a brilliant idea. I would say exactly the same thing. That's a brilliant idea. But then again, that's what, you do all of that and the basics, which is exposure, making sure everyone is going to watch it. Everyone is going to know about Mixer. Mixer, the big, the blue and white Mixer logo is right on the middle on the Xbox platform. Boom! 3 million people watching. Those 3 million people are going to know that Mixer is a streaming platform that is going to be available on the Series X. That's it. You're done. you have done a lot more marketing by doing that than bringing Ninja. Like I've told people, what do you stream? I stream on Mixer. Oh, I was like, yeah, you know Ninja? No, I don't know who Ninja is. Kids know Ninja, and a few other streamers. You know, the people that drop the money, the kids are not dropping the money. People that drop the money are the adults. So I don't know, like honestly. Oh, Mixer. Why did you do that?
So we can.
I'm so frustrated, man. I'm so frustrated because there's so many things that I would have done different. Now, like I've been saying this for a very long time. I'm not saying this now. You know me, Orco. Bam Bam, maybe we haven't had this conversation before, but we had kind of like a similar conversation, Orco, 2 episodes ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
What did I say? They had to advertise more.
Yeah.
In the way of free advertising. You put it on your Xbox Series X presentation. Boom, that's free. It's free. 3 million people are going to watch you. Not a single penny spender. Whatever you're going to spend on, interviewing a couple of employees, with the biggest smile and say how happy they are at Mixer and they have the best community here. And that's it. That's all you have to spend. Time on doing things. I really don't know. I understand their passion and bringing Ninja and all of that. Yeah, but come on, man. The basics. Get the basics first. The basics is where you start. Is where your business is going to work. If you don't, if you don't get that right, you can do extras. But if you don't do the basics properly, you are done.
I mean, the entire thing is just we can actually agree that someone, I don't even want to say Microsoft, but someone dropped the ball on Mixer so hard it went through the Earth's crust and right to the core.
What do you mean?
The platform had a lot of potential, and somebody decided to go nowhere with it. That's what I'm saying.
The whole idea of being ingrained in since I started, since I was working all the time. It is kind of like big companies tend to put into your brain, because that's happened to me every single day. Think out of the box. Like literally on every single meeting I would have, every single conference call, I would hear the sentence "think out of the box." I hate that sentence. I hate it with passion. I swear to you. Think out of the box. They would say, my area managers, my everyone, above me would tell me exactly the same thing. I would be like, oh my God, think out of the box. I'm going to throw the box at your face. Because you can think out of the box. But if you don't get the basics right, there is no thinking out of the box. You can do a freaking show on your restaurant, but if their food is not good, people are not coming back.
Exactly.
People don't come back. You can do as much as you want. You can put 20 people outside dancing and bringing people in, blah, blah. Yeah, but basics, service and food. That's it. That's what works. What happens on the streaming? Basics, platform and quality. That's it. You get that right. That's it. That you are flying. And that's what I'm saying. On that exact thing, what they did, they thought out of the box. They went for Ninja. They went for Stroud. They went for King of Stallion. They went for, they went for all the big guys. And they never thought of the basics. Oh, we part of Microsoft. Microsoft could be advertising our platform all over the place. On Bing, they could be advertising our platform or their own website. I would literally like Hester Phil Spencer to have when you open Microsoft, like literally the big box at the top will be Mixer always. Like there will be instead of putting Microsoft, you see that it says Microsoft at the top when you open the Microsoft website. Yeah. I would literally pester Phil Spencer until that box would be Mixer. That's it. Like literally make sure my brand it's seen every single place that is owned by Microsoft. Every single place. Just take advantage of the company.
Yeah, true.
Think out of the box. Okay, the basics, right? That's what I'm saying. That's why it's so frustrating all the time, because it's like I saw how many things they were doing, how many, they were going out, they were doing all the things, but I was like, man, you got these guys with the most money out of anyone. They got more money than anyone else. Use them, take them, use their platforms, use their websites, use everything they do. Everything they do, I will make sure that if they do, like, I don't know, an advertisement on the street, let's say Microsoft goes with a bus. They grab a bus and they say, okay, we're gonna do a tour in the UK, advertising Microsoft, blah blah blah. I will make sure that bus was painted blue and white, and it would say Mixer. Oh, you Microsoft, yeah, but you're gonna have my colors, mate. I'm gonna make sure everyone is going to know about me. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't want to be. It gets me a bit riled up to see how we've lost a platform when I understand what they did and they wanted to do more and they wanted to do extra stuff, but they could have done so much for so little spend. It would have been a lot more successful. Honestly, it is such a big company behind you, and you don't utilize their resources. I don't care how many times they say no to me. I would literally pester Phil Spencer. Like, he would hate me 3 days later. Honestly, I would be manager of Mixer. I would say, like, honestly, I swear to you, Phil Spencer would hate me 3 days later, because I would be knocking on his door every single day with, I don't know, I open a website, and if I see Microsoft anywhere, I would say, I want my name there. Everywhere. Every single word. Oh, we can't. No. I'll make it for you. Don't worry, mate. That's fine. I'll make sure that happens. So, you can always find a solution, but now we are in this situation. We're in the situation of they have pulled the plug on Mixer because they haven't done the return of investment. Of course, they haven't done the return of investment. It's 30 million investment, man. You should have thought of that before.
Well, I think we can agree that the demise was untimely. I'd say we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah, please.
Which is Persona 4.
Yay.
Yay! Which got a Steam release 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Did they even advertise that it's coming? Because I didn't know at
No.
all it was going to be released.
I think there was little to no advertisement. It caught me by surprise as well. I suddenly saw it on the Steam front page and was like, you need this in your life.
Pretty much, yeah. I saw it. I was like, wait. They just Steam mess up in my like emulator folder. No, it was on Steam. I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it.
Replaying it after all these years. It's fun. I like the additions they did. I never played the golden version, so that's a good thing actually coming back to a PS2 game.
Yeah.
With additional content. Where your memories are really hazy actually, but it's slowly coming back. And I really do like it. It's so much fun to play. The combat still holds up, the story still holds up. The story is kind of a wild mix between Twin Peaks and a David Lynch movie.
Well, Twin Peaks is David Lynch.
Yeah, true. But like,
no, yeah, it's essentially a small town murder mystery with fantasy elements.
yeah, it's really interesting, and it has a Japanese spin to it, obviously.
I think because it's part of the SMT, the Shin Megami Tensei series, it's a very unique take on very much like different kinds of stories. For say Persona 4, it's a murder mystery set in a small town. Persona 3, essentially, it's a high school drama. Persona 5 is a is a crime drama. It's about a band of thieves, but again with a sort of religious and fantasy themes, and heavy focus on characters and character development, which I think is the strongest point of every single game. The characters you meet with and you take into your party are usually some of the best characters you can get when it comes to gaming. They have characters, they have layers, and they're fun and well performed in most parts. Yeah, I think I haven't played the golden version either, because I'm not one of the 5 people who had a Vita. And I'm enjoying it. I like the new character, Mary. She's interesting. She's essentially a completely new mystery to the game as well. She has her own story arc that you have to finish if you want. You have to max out her social link to get the new true ending. Because in the original, essentially all you had to do was figure out the truth behind the murders and the intentions and the reasons for the murders to get the true ending, to fight the boss and get the best ending. Here it's a bit different. You have to finish completely the new, I think it's Aeons social link with Mary. I'm not sure I like the network feature where you can get help from the other players, where you press start and it sends out a signal, and sometimes when you start the next fight you'll get healed and some of your skill points will get refilled so you can use skills. I think the technicals, like the update for graphics, is decent. I had some ghosting at the start, but I think they did a small patch that alleviated it a bit. But it might be also just a carryover from the PS2 version, which did have ghosting.
So what's the whole game is like an MMO or something, or
It's a JRPG.
It's a JRPG, yeah.
JRPG? Okay.
It's like you have your party and then you go into dungeons and fight monsters.
Okay.
Yeah,
The interesting part about it is that there is actually, if you don't finish a dungeon on time, but the time is normally very generous, you fail. So there is actually a failed state. And like Bam Bam said, you collect more people along the way who help you fighting the monsters, and it's actually hard to describe to someone, I think, who never played it, because it has so many layers when it comes to the story and what it does. So basically what happens in the game is, at the start, you get to know just from TV appearances, a reporter who had an affair with a local politician. And she turns up dead one morning. It was foggy, and she turns up dead.
Yeah, hanging from a TV antenna.
Exactly, hanging from a TV antenna. And then, slowly, the kid you are playing, who got transferred to this place, which is a very small Japanese town.
Yeah, it's essentially a small village. It's you come from the city because your parents are working overseas, and you essentially, I think it's like from Tokyo to Inaba, a small town.
Slowly gets to know the people in his high school and everything, and then you start investigating the death of the reporter. Then a friend of your clique, like 2 days later or something, turns up dead as well. And then you go into full-blown investigation mode. And then the kids find out there is a so-called midnight channel on TV, where you can enter a new world via or going through the TV. And it turns out, when it's foggy in the real world, the fog in the TV world clears up and people start dying. And somebody throws the people who turn up dead after a foggy night, so the reporter and the friend, into the TV, and they get lost there. And when the fog lifts in the TV world, they're going to get killed. and you decide with your friends to stop that, to find who throws the people into the TV, and to rescue people who got thrown in there.
And yeah, like that's the main point of the game. It's to solve who's doing that and why. The way you do it is your character has a power to essentially once someone appears on the midnight channel, you can actually go into that world and try to save them. You have to go through the dungeon, fight the shadows, who are these enemies based around usually the area of the character.
Is it like a scary game or something? Or
No,
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's a straight up like a. I think once you hear the soundtrack, you know it's not a scary game because the
Okay.
soundtrack is this like a fusion of jazz and rock, and
Okay.
it's really cool. I think it's one of my favorite parts of these games is the soundtracks.
And it also has a lot of humor to it.
Yeah. I think also because a big part of the game is time management, because you have only a limited time to save anyone who's been thrown into the TV, but at the same time you have to take care of. You have to study because you're a student, so you have to study for exams. You have to hang out with people and forge social links, and social links will they're not just a side event. It's like, oh, I'm gonna hang out because I want to hear. Each character that you can hang out with has a story, and you can help them with whatever they are going through. But at the same time, you're strengthening your own character as you go further and further with social link. The personas, essentially, who are like the closest approximation will be Pokemons. They
Okay.
get stronger.
Yeah.
Because each persona belongs to an arcana, and arcana is like a thing from tarot. So you have like tower, emperor, chariot, and whatever, devil, death, and each character who has a social link is related to one of those arcanas. And once you get a certain at least one level in the certain arcana, when you fuse, make new personas, and it belongs to an arcana that you have a social link with, it will gain experience on fusion. So you will start with that persona at a higher level, possibly with an extra skill as well.
Yeah,
And
which is
It seems very, very complex.
it is.
yeah, it is struggle with time management in games and resource management as well, because you can only do so much during a single game day. You can get to a point where essentially you screwed yourself and you can't win. It's a game it can be punishing much less than the previous games. Previous one, I think Persona 3 was much more strict. Persona 4 gives you some more lenience in that regard.
Yeah. So the thing is, Persona 3 was really hardcore in that sense.
Yeah.
If you made a mistake, that was fine. If you made 2 mistakes, that was also still fine. But the third mistake, you basically were out.
Yeah.
And Persona 4, you can actually bumble your way through, I'd say. The thing is just, well, what people should keep in mind is that this is a very complex game with many systems, and it might put newcomers off. But I would say you are allowed to fail at a video game. You don't have to
Always win, yeah.
always win or get through in your first goal.
Yeah.
You learn from failure, especially in this game.
Yeah.
And
At least it's sorry. I mean, at least it's not as bad as Lucifer's Call.
Oh yeah, that was woo.
Yeah. I finished that game somehow. I'm still not sure how.
I never finished it. I admit it here. I'm a loser. I never finished that one.
I mean, I remember because Persona 4 is, I think, the first SMT game that has a decent difficulty curve. It doesn't spike up as hard as the previous games. I think Lucifer's Code was like you start all right, but you hit a brick wall in Matador.
That's another game. Just for you, Val. Shin Megami Tensei: Lucifer's Call.
Lucifer's Call.
Yeah, and that is notorious for its difficulty because you start out actually fairly strong,
Yeah.
and then the game throws a boss at you, which you can only win in a certain way. And a lot of people threw in the towel with that boss.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the game. There is another game that is very. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Do you remember the? Which one is it? Soul Call, is it or no?
Dark Souls?
Dark Souls. You remember the other game that is like Dark Souls but with weapons? It's really good. I love that game as well.
The Search?
No, it's another name. I can't remember the name of the game. It's kind of like that. Oh man, I can't remember the name of the game. I love that game. I like if I tell you the name, you will know exactly which game is it. It is very, very similar to that game. It's very similar to Dark Souls. It's the Dark Souls with weapons.
I know what you mean. Wait, that confuses me now. It released in April. It released a goddamn expansion.
Yeah.
Is
They
it
just
a
got
Remnant?
expensive.
Remnant from
Remnant.
Ashes.
Yeah,
Remnant.
Revenant. Thank
There
I was
you
like,
go.
when you said with weapons, I'm like, Dark Souls has weapons, but oh, you mean guns?
Like
Okay,
guns, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, Remnant has kind of like that, isn't it? Like you feel really powerful, and all of a sudden it's like boom, you get like really, like hard enemies, and everything all of a sudden becomes a lot harder. I remember that I did not enjoy that feeling.
yeah. So yeah, like that was essentially Matador in Lucifer's Skull.
Yes,
It was just
exactly.
that one boss, which were like, did you learn to use stat buffs, debuffs, and whatever? Okay, then you might like actually win. If you don't, you don't. Like
Yeah.
you will just throw yourself at a brick wall.
Hmm.
And I think that's the one of the few JRPGs, like Persona or Shin Megami Tensei games. They will teach you to use like buffs, debuffs, make sure that you can actually kill whatever buffs the enemy throws at them, because you will not get far if you don't do that.
Do you? It's like is the El Matador game? Is it like is that an Asian made game as well, or?
It's a because it
Sort of-
started as a Shin Megami Tensei on SNES. It's a long running series. I think you have maybe
It's made
over.
by Japanese, or
Yeah, it's a Japanese. It's
Okay.
an
And Remnant? What
no,
about Remnant?
Atlas Remnants. I'm very sure it's a European studio.
Remnants was made by Gunfire Games, who also made Darksiders 3, and it's a US.
It's a US.
company,
Okay.
Actually.
Okay. So,
Texas,
I mean,
I believe.
Okay.
They have definitely used the Dark Souls style, isn't it? Which is a Japanese.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they also used the Dark Souls style in Darksiders 3, which was
Yeah.
very divisive. So, I'm not really surprised they went back to that well, and yeah.
So so it's kind of like that, because I'm starting to see a pattern here, because obviously you guys are talking about Matador, and then now Remnant, and now that the next game that comes to mind is Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter is like everything is so easy, and all of a sudden there is one monster that is like boom, there you go. Now you have
Yeah.
to know how to play.
Yeah. See, it's like that's the thing. It's like people say that also about Monster Hunter World, which I find funny because I've played the previous ones, and the previous ones are like, oh, let's kill those 5 essentially like trash enemies, and then like, oh, let's go Arathian. Okay.
That's it. You don't.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you don't.
Rathian is one. I hate that monster. Like honestly, it is non-stop poison and all of that. Honestly,
Have you fought
Rathian, I cannot deal with Rathian, and what's the other one? The one with the horns.
Oh, Diablos.
Diablos. Oh my god, I hate. And the Black Diablos, I don't
Oh.
want to say. I never did Black Diablos. I just can't deal with that monster. I just
I
can't.
was like, have you fought the Golden Rathian? one of the
No,
newer ones.
because I don't even want to say. I see a picture of, like, honestly, I see a picture of Retios. I see a picture of Diablos, and it actually makes me vomit. Honestly, I swear to you, I
Oh boy.
hate it so much, man. I honestly hate it so much. Eh,
I,
eh,
I see.
like, have
See,
you?
I get
Honestly,
that
you're
reaction
laughing
whenever I
about
see
this.
Kushala.
Because you're always the positive guy and you're now like, I hate it! I hate it! Ah!
Have you played Monster Hunter? And
Yes!
have you faced those
Extensively!
two monsters? If you
Yes!
have, like, listen, if you don't hate those two monsters, you like something is wrong with you, man. You like pain. You
Okay,
like into sorrow.
something is
You know
wrong
what?
with me.
You know what? You know what, guys? We need to get play. We need Val and get him to play Monster Hunter Try and fight Monoblos.
No.
He has Diablos.
Just no.
Please fight Monoblos, man.
No.
You think
No.
Diablos is bad?
No, just
Honestly,
don't.
I did have a hard time with those monsters. I just think, it's kind of like the pattern, that exactly what we're talking about. The pattern of these kind of like Asian made, Japanese or Asian in general, made games. They tend to have like the similar pattern on all of them. That you get like kind of like easy, and
Mhm.
then there is a moment where it's like there is a brick wall
Yeah.
where it gets really difficult all of a sudden. That's one thing. I mean, it might be a difference between a culture. I mean, the gaming culture is a lot different from our culture. We already spoke about that. It is very different. They think on a different way about games than what we think in Europe or in the US. Like, we have the perspective of a game in a complete different way.
Yeah.
So
Essentially, it feels like, it's like, oh, you've learned what gravity is. Here's a book on astrophysics. The test is tomorrow.
but yeah, like in you do that in the US or in Europe, and people will say like, "Are you crazy, man? Like, what's wrong with you?"
No, I think
Like,
I think I because I'm one of those people that enjoys these games. Like I love to.
yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like, honestly, I think the games are brilliant.
Yeah,
But
but
they
what I
do require
yeah
your time, patience, and a lot of time again.
yeah yeah, and see, that's what I like because they don't treat the player as a dummy. They fully expect the player that like through what they are playing, they actually learn to understand the mechanics well enough that they can throw that at you. And I like when I played Lucifer's Call, I knew what I was getting into, and I didn't struggle with Matador at all. I think I beat the boss at my second try.
Like, my point I'm trying to get across, like, we are starting to get lazy on video games in general. I mean, you
Yeah,
can have your own perspective, which I believe it's absolutely brilliant because you are an old school. You are literally you are what we call an old school gamer. You face a challenge, and we used to play Tomb Raider one,
yeah,
but it was
Yeah.
almost impossible to know where you had to go. Like, I didn't know where I had to go. I used to be, face planting my butler all the time in the house. So,
yeah,
like, I was like, I would be following him because I didn't know where to go on Tomb Raider one. So we are an old school. We have to. You kind of like get presented with the challenges because before was the limitation on consoles, and it was very difficult to get a game right with them. I mean, there was no game that was made completely right in the past, and that could not be fixed, people. That did not happen. There was no internet where they could be patching all your games.
yeah.
Nowadays it's like we have become kind of lazy. So
Mhm.
hear me out. Fortnite, Apex, and Warzone have done a lot of damage to the gaming community. I mean, quote unquote damage, because people have become. I include myself on this. I get bored of Destiny a little bit. There is nothing going on this season. I jump onto these games. I pick it up. I leave it. I don't have to know a story. I don't have no challenge. If I die, I just spawn again. I just play again. Like, there's so many people that don't even get excited when they win anymore. Those battle royale games have made it like, make the brain of the gamer so easy. It's like jumping, die, who cares, spawn again, play again. That's it. You
Yeah.
win, you don't even celebrate it.
Yeah.
Like that baffles me because I do celebrate. I start jumping all over the place.
I don't want to knock these games because I think there are many intricacies to them. Probably, I can't judge. I haven't played them a lot. What I think is like, a lot of people refuse to learn mechanics.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of an issue. They don't see it, or they don't want to be taught. Because when we talk about Shin Megami Tensei Lucifer's Call, the game gives you, before El Matador turns up, gives you ample opportunity to play around with everything you get. Right, like Bam Bam said, use the buffs, the debuffs. It even explains all these mechanics to you. The switch the player needs to do is like, oh, I learned all the stuff, let's apply it to exactly this boss all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And not just in steps. And that's like the switch you have to make. And it's not a hard switch to make, but it can get lost for some people.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like some people say, oh, it just throws you off into the deep end. It doesn't. It slowly eases you into it, but you have to work with it as well. It essentially just extends you a hand, tells you you have these tools, use them. But I think, yeah, as you said, a lot of people just ignore that. They want to be like essentially told what to do in slow increment steps, and not be thrown into a situation where you essentially have to process everything and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
Study the game. People don't want to study the game.
Yeah.
Like those games, you have to do research. You have to, take your time. You have to know what you're doing, know your abilities, know your weapons, know your stats, know your stuff. So, there is still a lot of people that like that. And obviously, I'm not saying everyone likes battle royale games. I'm just saying, the damage the battle royale games are doing to the new generation of gamers. They say, oh, Destiny is too complicated. I'm not even going to bother. Why? You spend 1,000 hours playing Fortnite, man. Like you literally dropping on the same place for like a year now. Like
I think
you know every single corner of this map, man. Like it is, kind of like that's what I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just saying it's becoming more like who was that? Oh my god, I think it was someone from Electronic Arts was or Ubisoft. I think it was someone from Ubisoft. They said it's not viable to do a AAA games anymore.
Oh, it was from, there was a guy, ex Sony
From Sony.
executive, yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's not viable to do AAA games anymore because you literally, you make up good battle royale games. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. And like, let's be honest, making a battle royale game is just easy. It's easy. You make a map, you make a circle, and throw weapons on the floor.
It's not gonna be a good game, but yeah, you like it's pretty much just a drag and drop concept for the game.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I think what Battle Royale provides and what many people search for is immediacy. Like this instant, I flip the switch, have action, play a few rounds, and then I go out and don't think about it anymore. I think that's the thing they want to have. If you look at Persona 4 Golden, which was the initiator of this entire debate, the game takes around 2 to 3 hours to get really starting. Who has the time, or who wants to take the time to actually take 2 hours just into a video game where you can actually play, right?
Yeah,
Who does that?
It's a very because it's I think it's over 10 years old game at its core. It's essentially a completely different generation.
Yeah.
To compare to now.
Yeah.
It's a game from an era where PlayStation 2 was a big platform for JRPGs, and people played those JRPGs. And even when you look at the reviews for Persona 4, bet on it that it's 90% of the people who played the original or played the golden version on Vita.
Okay.
I don't think it's like most of the say if it there's definitely going to be negative reviews. It's going to be people who just jumped into it because they know the name, never played it before, but they know the name. You know, it's a big name when it comes to JRPGs, and they're like, okay, I'll give this a go because I haven't played it before, and they're like, oh, this is like 10 years old design, and I'm not sure it meshes with me and what I expect from my games at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people have to keep that in mind. But like,
Yeah.
I personally don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good intro. I mean, there is a
Yeah.
lot of reading to be done and a lot of listening, but yeah, after that it opens up and it becomes really freaking great. So
It has some of the best characters still you can like get in a game that are fun to hang out with, and it's a comfort game. Like, you know, when you either use like, because you don't have to spend all the time in a dungeon. The dungeon, like myself, I can every single new dungeon I usually finish within the first 4 to 5 in-game days, and then
Mhm.
I'm just free to hang out with the characters.
that's how
And
I do
you
it
know,
as well.
it's a really nice combo of a dungeon crawler with a visual novel, and a really engaging visual novel at that.
Like you guys are saying, like Persona needs about 2-3 hours to get started. Monster Hunter needs about 100 hours to get your head around what's going on in the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
I'm like
literally
500.
100 hours.
I have 500 hours in Monster Hunter World, and I still suck.
I actually have. I started streaming it again, Monster Hunter. I had on the game because I checked the hours. I had 730 hours on the game. 730 hours. I came back. I obviously I put the game away because there was
Yeah.
nothing really new to it. So what was it? Ice Age? No, Ice Age? No.
Iceborne.
Iceborne. Yeah, Iceborne came out, jumped back into the game, 750 hours. I did not know what to do. I had no clue how any weapon would work anymore. I had no clue what to do. I had no clue the combos. Like, you really, really, really need 100 hours into the game at one point, and then you start learning how to play.
I'm gonna say like I have 500 hours, but I'm master rank 115, I think. So I have everything unlocked. So I like fought all the monsters. I'm just waiting for the Alatreon fight, the new Elder Dragon.
Also, we have like 60 slots, isn't it? Or no, it's been increased now, isn't it?
Yeah, because you had Hunter rank, which is for the
Yeah.
core game.
No, I mean for setups, like to save different sets of gear and weapons.
Oh, the loadouts, yeah.
Yeah. So you have like, what was it before the limit was like 70 loadouts or something like that? And
Yeah,
now
you
it's
had
been
like
increased?
70 and now like 200, yeah.
Okay, so I had out of the 70, I had 63 loadouts saved.
Yeah.
When I came back twice one. I like honestly, I swear to you, Bam Bam, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to use any weapon. I went with the hammer, I went with the sword, I went with the double sword, with the sword and shield.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of the combos. I was like, what the heck is going on? I
because
forgot everything. It's so complex.
Yeah, what they did also with Iceborne, they revamped every single of the 14 weapon classes. So they added new subsystems and new moves. So because I used to play Charge Blade, which is one of the most complicated weapons in the game. I got into it again, and yeah, I
That
think
was my main as well.
and they added a lot of stuff to it, and I felt like essentially like I just started to learn the weapon again. Because
The complexity of the weapons is so you don't remember this because your memory kind of like things. It is. I used to play this. I used to be a beast with every weapon. I had a set with all the weapons. I had like every single weapon, like a set with different, water or of like
the
solar
elements,
water. Yeah, I was like doing all the elements, and I had like different elements with better for like I had it like set up for by monster. So we had like 7 slots So I had like the 7, like the big monsters, the ones that I was farming. I had a setup for each one of them, with different things if I wanted to be messing around, blah blah, whatnot.
Yeah.
So I was like, my memory in my head, everything was so easy because I knew how to handle every single weapon. I was like, I'm just gonna come back. I'm just gonna do this. Oh man, I bloody hell.
Yeah, at some point I was like, because I used to do the same. I had like sets for every single monster, and then I was like, screw it. So I just made a heavy bow gun meta set,
Yeah.
and I used to just speedrun monsters. Oh, this fight took me like 15 minutes with a normal weapon. I killed a monster in like minute and a half with a heavy bow gun.
I didn't even know how to use the bow, man. For real. For real. Not even the bow. It was so sad watching me struggle with a bow on the first monster, man. It took me 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, like
I
the thing is
honestly,
with the bow, they don't tell you that the bow is a weapon that you have to use it as in an opposite way as you would expect to use it. Essentially, the way you use it is you aim and you keep dashing to charge it. You shoot and then you keep dashing again to charge it. And
yeah,
you
I used to remember that to be so easy before.
yeah,
I couldn't get my head around like that's exactly what we're saying. Like, I cannot remember that. Like, oh, it was so easy. I used to, handle every single weapon, no problem. I was like, this is easy. I came back to it and it's like, this, like, honestly, how much, like, Asian guys, Asian gamers like pain. They do like
yeah.
pain because
Oh,
that is, you can't put this game away for like 2 months. You
oh
can't.
yeah. Have you fought Safijiva, the big red dragon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I farmed it during Christmas, and yeah, I think that pretty much like replaced every single gear I had,
Uh-huh.
especially the weapons, because you could upgrade it and get essentially augments, just stacked affinity and damage. So now pretty much I think I have every single weapon class from Safijiva
Uh-huh.
with all the affinity, which is like a critical chance for those who don't know. Critical affinity is critical chance in Monster Hunter. I pretty much replaced every single weapon just because in a way, I like to mess about with it, but at the same time, I like to optimize my gear, and now I have like all the meta gear, and I think that's what needs to change a bit about Monster Hunter because affinity has been the meta, the best thing since the first games. Like element does play a little role, but it's essentially just like a maybe 10% damage increase. It's
Yeah.
never enough. But yeah, like that was the thing as well. Like the gear shifted a bit, and I think now it's become a bit too easy. Like once you get the best gear, the game's just when you said like Black Diablos, I'm like that's a 2-minute job, even on
Right.
like on a master rank.
Yeah. Like we were saying is, I I really, I certainly, I would love to try Persona, like, because hearing you guys talking about it, it just makes me want to try. But I don't want to spend 50 hours in a game to get to know what's going on with the
I mean,
game, and then
Persona 4 is at
You
least like 60 or 80 hours if you're going for the true ending.
I'll stick to Fortnite. Thank you. I'll stick to Fortnite. Oh my god, no. I think that's way too much for me now.
I mean, if you want a short game, I would definitely because I enjoyed it very much as well. Persona 5. Persona
Persona
5
5
is
is much, much shorter.
yeah, I think that's like if you're talking like baby's first Shin Megami Tensei games, Persona 5 is on the top.
Mhm.
And it's actually really good.
It's a phenomenal game. Again, the soundtracks. Oh man, like I can listen to the soundtracks of these games all day long.
Yeah. To our last topic, Yuppie Psycho,
Yippee!
which is an indie game that is not for a lot well because it's horror actually.
No,
Yeah.
thank
But on the flip side, it's one of those really good horror games that lets you marinate in the atmosphere and in the what the hell is going on department.
Oh yeah, it's the, what do you call it? The new weird
Yeah.
genre of horror.
Yeah, like I just remember. I mean, it didn't really freak me out or anything, but I love how you go into that one room in the one meeting room, and there's just a pile of horse manure there.
Oh yeah.
And you later you ask yourself, why is that here? And then you later find out why it's there.
Yeah.
It's not just there because it's there, it has a purpose.
And that's what I like, because it's taken, because the story is you're playing as this guy, Brian Pasternak, who gets an essentially job offer from this big corporation, Sintra Corp, out of nowhere. He's living in a society that's highly class based. He's a class G. Who's pretty much feels like it's one of the lower classes. And Sintra Corp is in a city where you essentially, to live, you have to be a class A citizen, a high, like a high class, a rich person. Essentially, would be like an equivalent in today's world. It starts being strange right off the get go, because at first you get to introduce to this idea of classes, and then you get up to the essentially the first two characters who introduce the idea of classes get called up to their departments, and you get to the top. Essentially, you find out that your job is something completely out of the ordinary that you wouldn't expect in a corporation.
Yeah, exactly. So what they do is, like, one of the characters you meet at the start of the game, you're basically in a lobby and talk to two characters, and one of those is a class A citizen, and he lets you know that you are below him, and it's like, you will never get in this elevator, and the higher you go, the more important you are. And his elevator stops at floor 2. There are 10 floors, and you start at floor 10.
Yep.
So this is already strange off the bat, and it just goes from there. It gets even stranger. Like your coworker Hugo, you meet at the start, seems to be a incredible nice guy and incredible helpful. I think he might be up to no good.
It also plays with really dark humor, and it comes into play with Hugo as well as your other coworker Sosa.
You described it actually really well, Bum Bum, when you said that somebody probably worked at a very big company, and we're talking about like the size of Amazon here. That's what they try to portray with Sintra Corp, that it's that big. And somebody must have worked at a company like that and made the experience he had there into a horror game.
Yes, and it, like, because I used to work at a bank, I can tell that some of these experiences, like, when talking to the management, and that sometimes, like, management just feels like they're completely detached from the reality of the other workers. How the bosses feel almost ephemeral class that you just everyone idolizes or sees them as intimidating. I said it in your chat when you were playing it on stream that yes, it feels definitely like somebody who wasn't prepared for an experience in a in a corporation of that size and the structure of that kind, and just wasn't prepared, and turned that like paranoia and confusion into a really really weird and interesting horror game, to the point where essentially a printer is one of the bosses. When it comes to what style of game it is, it's an adventure game, and it has the most common with RPG Maker horror games like Witch's House, Yume Nikki, The Crooked Man, and those kinds of games. Usually,
Why do you guys like scary games so much?
I think for me, because
I'm not a fan of that, man.
I want to put up a disclaimer. I actually do not like a lot of scary games. I actually loathe them for the most part. We already had this discussion when we talked about this Xbox showcase, that most of the horror games these days that are super successful are just modern versions of the carnival attraction, you know, where you go in
Yeah.
the spook
Haunted
cabinet,
house, yeah.
haunted house, thank you. And that bores me to death. There is
Yeah.
nothing in there but like Yuppie Psycho, and when they are there and exist, is different from all of that. Yuppie
Yeah, it's a-
Psycho is a completely different beast. It's not outright super creepy or with the jump scares and everything. Below the surface, it has a horror to it. It tries to make this corporate environment scary. It tries
Yeah.
to portray it through a horror lens. And that's what I like about it so much, because it fits so well. Those big corporations are so scary and creepy these days, in
Mhm.
some aspects when you work for them, that this is actually really fitting and really, really well done. And that's what I'm looking for. I want my horror to be smart, and
Yeah.
that's what horror is all about in my eyes. And Yuppie Psycho encapsulates that.
It's obviously a pixel art game, and the pixel art is really, really lo-fi, but at the same time it uses it to like the fullest potential it can get to. Like monster designs tend to in Yuppie Psycho are all just out there. The HR ladies are essentially just walking mouse, just like a mouth on a neck that spits poison. There is a part which I really liked. It's in Archives. It's one of the early parts, and there is a painting essentially in blood on the wall. The way they use it is you walk around it all the time through that area, and you don't really you expect it, to do something with it all the time, but they just do one-off gag with it.
Mhm.
That's really creepy, and then that's it. And every time I still have to walk around it, it's still creepy because of that one-off moment.
It throws you curveball. It
Mhm.
throws you curveballs a lot. Like, sometimes you get what you expect, and most of the
Yeah.
times you don't. And that's what makes it interesting. So, and it also has a lot of very dark humor to it. There were a few jokes I had to laugh at. And yeah, so what I just can recommend everyone who is interested in indie games and horror games to take a look at this, because it's actually a fairly well made, interesting horror game that's just out there and is more interesting than your haunted house cabinet rides you get on the carnival.
What I also like with it is that sometimes it tries to mess with you outside the game or with the expectations you have of it as a game. That is the way the saving system works. It's a weird take on the ink ribbons from Resident Evil, at least the original trilogy. And also, when you save the game also adds a thing to when you try to load up your game, because you're scrolling through files and then you see something out of the ordinary, and I think that will play a role in it as well. I still haven't finished it fully. I'm like 3/4 through. It's a game I'm definitely feeling like I'll finish once, and because it comes from the tradition of RPG games, it has multiple endings. So, and there's conditions that you have to meet. So I think I'll try to get the true ending afterwards, because I'm pretty sure I'm dead set on a not so good endings.
Not for me though.
And that's okay. Cannot be for everyone. Alright?
Yep.
If that's everything, gentlemen, we can wrap it up here. It was a joy.
Yep.
Thank you.
We are on Twitch now.
Yay.
So Lord Val Gaming and the Orcosaurus moved to Twitch. You hopefully come visit us there. My moderator Bum Bum will be there as well.
Yep.
So you all take very good care of yourselves. Thank you, Mr. Lord Val, streamer extraordinaire. Thank you, Bum Bum, and everyone else for
Thank you.
being here, for watching. Give us a like if you liked the video. If you didn't, then thumb it down. And leave a comment and tell us how wrong we were. You all rock. And we'll see us in the next podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. See y'all.